Big up, big up, big up, big up to all those in YouTube land. If you just caught me on Tony Claude TV stream, you'll see that I'm just continuing the rundown for the title. Over to City now. See if the City can beat Forest. Sorry about this. My hair is now getting annoyed. My hair is too long for my own good. Arsenal win. They battered the Spuds. Let's see if Man City can cope and carry on winning. Hopefully, I'll be joined by Bargav momentarily. All right, what's up? Well, about 5 minutes in. Odd. Like 10 almost already. Still 0-0. Oh, does anyone think City are going to lose here today? Do you think it's going to be Arsenal's day with the momentum swing? Or do we all think City are going to win and keep the pressure up? What does everyone think? A bit of a neutral here today. Just wanted to see the entertainment, see all the goals. North London derby was quite good. What's going to happen? Give me everyone's thoughts. City will win. Big up, babe. I was thinking that as well. Have to wait and see. Mrs. Wolfie in the house. Forest on the attack. Free kick to Forest. Who's that? Who went down? Anyi? No. Wanted someone to pass to, no one was there. And Doku just come up and whacked him, took him out. Ooh. He's feeling the back of that calf. You working hard today, lad. Big up, Wolfster. I'm having fun with it, man. Been the first weekend, a couple of weekends where I haven't really been busy doing stuff, so I'm enjoying it. I should be doing a bit of washing really, but I'll do that at half time. Now that the weather's sorted itself out because it was peeing it down earlier on. But yeah, Forest having a free kick in a good position. Should be joined by Barcav momentarily. But big up Mama Flossie. Big up my lady. Big up Kate. Hope you're well. Getting more sleep, I hope. I'm at 10:50 and I'm waiting for the BBV David. Big up, sir. How you doing? You looking forward to your Champions League tie? I can't wait to see that. You and PSG. Was it you and PSG, right? That's going to be awesome. Big up BVB David. Big up Borussia Dortmund as well. What a team. What a team. City running down the left. Guardiola. Who's that to? Jack Grealish. Passing it around. Dancing around. Not yet later. Well, are you going to try and get any more sleep? No? Thank you, and yes. Well, what do you reckon's going to happen with Butter? Do you reckon you'll take them apart? Like, do you reckon you'll get PSG? Because you can count on them quite well, actually. I like Julian Brandt, right? I want some respect put on that guy's name because he's been a class footballer for years and he just doesn't get that much hype compared to some Dortmund. I like Julian Brandt. I love that guy. I love that guy at Chelsea. Play right, left, centre, a lot. Now City have a free kick. Meant to be joined by Bargav, but he's nowhere in sight. Let me ask him. Let me ask him. Oh, yeah, good player. I'd have to say a competitive chance to get the win to the first leg. I'll say Borussia Dortmund 2-1 for the first leg. Well, you're not confident about the away leg. You reckon they'll expose you in the second leg away in Paris, Stadium Paris. Ooh, free kick whipped in, cleared by Forest. Header away. Another corner, City. Who do you think? I want to hear from you, David. You tell me. Who do you think has been the most underrated player in that Dortmund team? A lot of good teams. Had a lot of good teams with a lot of good players, actually. Ooh. City try to work the corner. It goes wrong. Forest trying to break. No, they're giving the ball away. Played in for Doku on the ball. Shoots. Wide. Jeremy Doku. Oh, yeah, I really do hope Dortmund beat PSG. Forest trying to play out. City keeps them squeezed. They got some room on the right hand side. He's through 1-on-1. Guardiol. Ooh, forces a save. Right at him, but he dealt with it. That's what you need to do. Ronald Gittins, maybe, although he's a bit of a squad player, but talented. Yeah, true. True. That you've always had talented players though at Dortmund though. Over the last 15, 20 years. When was the first time you guys won the European Cup? Wasn't it in the 90s? Wasn't it like 93 or 94? And ever since then, you guys have always had like an influx of talented players coming in and out. Lewandowski, all those lot. Sancho, even though he came back. Margav,
What's up, man?
how you doing? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm hoping. Yeah, this City team, man.
Ooh,
This
City on the defense. Go on.
City on defense. Yeah, it's just they're difficult, man. They're just that good. Like their mental strength is unreal. Like it's just a City culture.
Well, the thing is, that, like I was saying on Tony's stream a minute ago, because everyone tries to play like them anyway when it comes to the passing out from the back,
Yeah,
they're the best at doing that. So that's why they're extremely hard to beat. When you play like counter attacking style against them, who's down though? Edison's down.
yeah. Anderson's down. Yeah.
I don't know what for. Someone stood on his toe or something. Oh no! He got shoulder barged. Okay, right, yeah. Right, was it who did it? And ooh, yeah, that was quite a painful one. Quite a painful one.
Willy Bolly. Yeah.
I think he'll be
He
alright
kind of
though.
barged into. Yeah, I mean, Ederson. So Ederson and Willy Bolly. I mean, Willy Bolly's a pretty strong defender, though. So I can see why that hurts.
Yeah, 1 second.
Guy used to play for Wolves, right? Bolly.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Mark Clattenburg.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I'm surprised no Haaland though. He's on the bench.
Yeah, he's on the bench. I think he must have had like a muscle injury or something, right? So
I don't know. I'll go have a look.
it was the same. It was the same thing last week. Alvarez was there, but so if Ederson oh my god, so he's clutching his shoulder. He's actually clutching his shoulder, but looks like Ortega's coming on.
Yep.
Yeah, he's still a pretty good player though. I mean,
Yeah, he is. They're all pretty good players.
Who knows? Looks like Ederson's playing on though.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, to be honest, it's because he leads out with his arms. That's why he's taking a bit of a bash.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah.
Uh, um, yeah, go back to it. Yeah, the City have got one of those squads where they can compensate with a lot of losses, but it's still the style with City which gets a lot of teams because they can't keep up with their pressing and their passing. But yeah, for me, it's just whether Forest can counter them properly. If you can't put your counter attacking moves together properly, you've got no chance. No, I guess they give it Forest. Come on, Forest, you give the ball away again. Come on. I actually really like Forest. Always have since Brian Clough.
I mean, they have like they collected some good talent. It's just I don't know if like they should be mid-table. It's like a mid-table squad.
They're like us to a degree. They've got so much talent, but the blend isn't quite right.
Yeah.
Big up, Jordan. How you doing, bro? How you feeling, man? Commiserations from yesterday, bro. It must have sucked.
Uh, like a couple years ago, I think they had like some crazy amount of 29 formation shifts or something like that. It's like 20 or like.
Yeah,
It,
but they stayed in the league though. It worked.
but yeah,
Big up, Jordan. Hope you're doing well, bro. Liverpool fan, content creator. Big him up. Hope you're doing all right, man. Tell me, like, how do you think about that Arnie Slot is taking over at Liverpool? Well, what do you think the future is going to be like?
I don't know on that one. It really does depend when they come here because it's the same thing with what happened with Ten Hag, right?
Yeah, but even though his style's different from Ten Hag's, he's more balanced, I would say. Arnie Slot, he likes to defend as well.
It's just weird. So like some of these coaches when they come here, especially that Liverpool job, it's going to be interesting what the next manager does, right, to keep that standard that was already there. It's a tough one because you guys ran into this issue, right? Because so City they got to a standard and then they just kept building. Like they made it they made getting a trophy every single year like a thing, right?
Mm.
You guys struggled with that for a while because you guys had like even when you won the Champions League, you wanted to win the Prem, right? The next year,
Well, no, we came third and we won the European Super Cup and we won the Club World Championship, so it
Club
still
World
wasn't.
Champions.
So it wasn't a bad season.
Yeah, but I feel like it was always like
It's just
you had
this
to
season
struggle with
and
getting there.
last, really. It's just this season
Yeah.
and last under Todd Brogy's man. But the thing is, it was all forced on us by the British government anyway. So,
Well, some of the changes I think were too radical too. Like,
well, I agree with you, and I'm not being funny. We went from, as this is obvious, we went from Tuchel to Potter to Lampard.
yeah, I mean, so the Tuchel signing was probably going to be the one that shifted your like landscape though, because you finished third the previous year, right? And then,
Hmm.
uh, but but you never like improved on it ever. Like you never
Well,
got a
no, we
little
sold
step.
everyone. we literally
Yeah,
sold everyone. But the thing is, a lot of this is the one thing I don't like about a lot of Chelsea fans. Right, they sit there pining about Abramovich, but I'm not being funny. We're still gonna get screwed for half the stuff that Abramovich left behind. So you know what I
I
mean?
don't
That's
know. I don't know. I feel like the Prem is the Prem can't. This whole 115 Chargers thing I get annoyed with City is because all the other management sucked, right? All the other
mm,
management sucked, and it's like now it's just like vindication that they were actually really that damn good when every team should have been like that in the first place with their attitudes. Like, let's be honest. Like Arsenal allowed City to happen, right?
not
Like,
really. One thing about with
I mean,
Arsenal's management, that was very
we
different.
never adapted to that. Like, so City changed the league in terms of look at the play. They got the best fullbacks in. They gave they
Well, it
changed the game in
depends.
their own way.
Are you talking about Pep's success at City? Are you talking about when City were originally successful under Mancini and all that with the Aguero? Because
Oh, they were successful, but they were successful.
because the
They
thing
were
is,
successful, but
because
I think like
because Arsenal, they signed half of Arsenal's team to become
yes,
successful, which is
yeah,
kind.
like
If
Sancho, yes,
you were the thing is about Arsenal to City, and this is the kind of bitch of it really. Over the last 12 years, you lot are being a stepping stone for City, and that's the
yeah,
really insulting thing about it because they used half your team.
that's
Clichy,
what, yeah,
Nasri, who
we
else?
allowed it. We allowed it,
Adebayor, all these players. Yeah,
and we allowed it too. We allowed it.
yeah.
We allowed it.
Well, you were paying off your stadium in terms of that was when Wenger run you guys like a proper hands down business because it was a degree in economics. You know, that's
I mean, that's what they say, but like the Ashley Cole thing really still pisses me off. Like when I say like that should have been the first star built around, and you had haggled over like what 10. I think it was like the contract that he got at Chelsea was versus contract he got at Arsenal. I'd have been like it would have been like a slap in the face. Like when you look back on it, like there was a lot of that. Like there was a lot, man. There was a lot that pissed me off. That pisses you off about Arsenal. But it's like nowadays, it's like when people are like, "Oh, 115 charges, etc." It's like, I mean, their owners and management for like years have been about like putting together the best squad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with the FFP and stuff, like yes, they had to take some risks and they knew it for the well being of their club. You're just pissed off that our management wasn't good enough, and now you're trying to like rewrite history. It's like there's a part of the fan base that's like that. It's like 10 years that was really bad, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean,
it depends.
2010s was really bad Arsenal wise. Management it was the worst management in like.
Well, it wasn't. That's because you had a multiple ownership board with like
That was part
Usmanov
of
and
it.
them on that,
That
and
was
it was
part of it.
split.
Yeah.
The thing is, one thing about Arsenal in that sort of time when Wenger was there, later days, there was too many people in the boardroom trying to do power plays.
Yeah. But also, like some of the focus was different too. Like how many times? I mean, like Claude was the best person. Claude used to have these conversations on the original Claude. You ever met like Gunnar Claude like back in the day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Some of those conversations were like they were actual honest conversations about where the club was at, like what we need to do, because it was really sad, man. It was really sad. Like
Yeah, it is. It is.
But then I guess like with you guys, I think after that whole season went down, right? I think you had the resources. I don't know. I just don't think they were. Some of it wasn't invested properly.
No, no. The thing is, because a lot of people think the £1 billion was spent on just our first team. The answer to that question, no. The £1 billion went into the team to refinance the club as a whole because of the wage bill. We were spending 6.5 million a week on wages, and that had to stop because of the financial fair play rules that have come into effect this season. So we had to sell a lot of players because because a lot of people forget, even though we spent 1 billion, we sold 750. So our actual net spend was actually only 250 mil. So we didn't actually spend that much because whatever we spent, we virtually made back. That's why it kind of makes me laugh whenever I hear Tony talking about Kai Havertz, because I can actually sit there and openly remember how much Arsenal fans hated Kai Havertz at the beginning of the season. So it kind of like makes me chuckle a bit in terms of how everyone's flip-flopped. But there you go. That's what happens over a season. People play, they improve or don't.
Yeah, but that management though was I mean, the 3 years at Chelsea were the rockiest, probably 3 years you could have as a career though.
Not really, because you walked away with 3 trophies. That's a trophy a season. That's not rocky. But
what I'm saying is like, I mean, Pulisic was at the time too, so like it's like,
well, Pulisic is injury prone.
Yeah, but I mean, he was still a good player though. Like he's still.
Oh, I agree.
I mean,
but the thing is, this Chelsea team as it is now, because they're a stepping stone, like we were talking about a minute ago, because the team's so young, because the average age of the team is 23.5. So to actually be winners, okay, we've got a decent squad, and I'm not being funny, we've been to cup finals this year, so it's not all bad. It's just our league form so inconsistent. what we need to do now that we've got a decent base, is just add 3 or 4 players that are 26, 27 above, so the experience is there in more difficult situations, and then you'll see massive improvement. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what makes me laugh. Like, and this is one thing I try to, because I love Tony and I enjoy conversations with him, but sometimes when you're trying to actually have a football conversation with him, the
Yeah,
banter overtakes the
yeah,
football. And
yeah,
it was just like when he said to me about, you can't compare Kai Havertz to Cole Palmer. But I was like, but hang on a minute. But at Chelsea, they both play off the right hand side and cut through in the middle. One for me only scored 8 goals in a season. This one, who's the brand new player and who costs half as much as the other guy, because I'm not being funny, and I'm not even mocking Arsenal for paying 65 because we still paid 70 for him.
yeah,
So it's not a dig at Arsenal, but
yeah.
I'm not being funny. Don't get me wrong, the general weakness in Chelsea's squad this year has been injuries, not the players are not, because realistically, even when you guys defeated us on Tuesday 5-0, you were playing against our third choice right back. Third, not first, not second, third. Don't get me wrong. I said you saw my Bargov, you saw my preview with Jez the previous night.
Yeah.
I never thought we had a blue chance in hell of winning the game. Don't get me wrong. I didn't know it was going to be 5, but I already knew from the fact that Palmer was ill, Gusto was out, Reece James was out. We had 10 or 11 players out when we played you on Tuesday. I think it was 10. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry. When we hopefully, if we can get, don't worry. When we play you next season, if we can get half of our defense fit again, because I don't even know why he's dropped Silva and Chalobah for that Arsenal. I think Poch did that on purpose, to be honest. Because how you playing Gilchrist at right back? Play Travis Chalobah. Yeah, there was so many things about that lineup that were off.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so let me ask you this though. Like,
Yeah.
did you guys run into like an accidental culture though, right?
What's
To an
that?
extent, because some of the interviews that come out from like all the Chelsea players, it's like John Terry. You look at like Willian, even Cesc Fabregas was talking about this. You guys had this culture that you guys built, but did you guys where the players kind of established it and it was run through the players? Which is kind of reverse, right? Like
Not really. Not really. The big difference now compared to then is, even though Abramovich, when he came in, right, and he spent loads of money, you got to remember that was a team on the rise then compared to, because don't forget, even without Abramovich, we'd still finish third in the league. We'd already got Champions League football. We were 4 points away from winning the league. A lot of what Chelsea were close to achieving was already there. Similar to how Arsenal were last season, you just fell at the last hurdle, you know what I mean? But the difference being in that when you look at the first season Mourinho was there, for example, and he won the league with a certain amount of points, a lot of the players that stepped up were already there. John Terry, already there. William Gallas, already there. Frank Lampard, already there. Idaker Johnson, already there. These are all guys that became stars of the team, but were already there. You know what I mean? So it's one, but the thing is, at this point, where in case in point, is when the Brody took over, you sold all the experience. Kai Havertz. Why did we get rid of Cesar Azpilicueta? We need him roundabout now with no right backs. That would have, the Arsenal game would have been the perfect sort of game for him. And if you watch him in Spain, you can see with Real Sociedad that you can tell he's not finished. We just got rid of, like you said earlier, and you said it beautifully. Too much too soon, and City have just gone 1-0 up. Guardiola, I think.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was Guardiola. Yeah, like you're right. You actually said it bang on. We just got rid of too much too soon.
Yeah, but that because when you look at the interviews, even Makelele,
Big up, Moss.
who else? Big up Moss. I mean, he's very passionate about like Arsenal in this sense, but I was like. So we established our culture with the manager, right? The manager sets the standard, etc. Right? I feel like with Chelsea, you guys had like elite players. It was almost like an oligarchy when you think about it. It's like Lampard, Terry, and then maybe Drogba, right? So if you don't fall in line with those three, that culture's like you're out the door. Like,
not really, because the team carried on winning after they left. When we won the Champions League last, or when we won the Premier League last, John Terry wasn't playing. Didier Drogba wasn't playing. But that was Diego Costa, Fabregas, all those sort of guys. the thing is, this is the difference. They're winning players. They're winners,
Yeah.
right? Okay, why is it? Okay, this is weird, and this is one thing I can throw you as an Arsenal fan that you may find a bit peculiar. Why is it the last game for Sepp Fabregas, when he ran off the pitch for you guys, he was laughing and joking. His last game for Chelsea, when he walked off the pitch, he was crying.
Because in the end, like had better experiences at Chelsea though,
Right.
because his daughter was, but because I think his daughter grew up in the Chelsea area, right? Like when his family, when he was here, like initially his family wasn't really grown up yet, so they remember more of those times fondly. But also with Fabregas, he went to Barca. He regretted that move when he went to Barca, but at the same time, it's like he also won with Spain, so it was like really different for him, right?
Well, that was the thing. That was the great Spanish hype for him, and he went back to Barcelona, and it was supposed to be home. He couldn't get in. Let's be honest, he was never going to It was a foolish move because you were never going to move Iniesta and Xavi from that midfield. Never in a million years. And they were in their primes as well. So it
was good in his prime, though, man. He was,
oh yes, well, we got that benefit when he came to us and won two Premier Leagues. I think he won an FA Cup and he won a. I don't think he won the Champions League, but I know he won the Europa League with us. I think. Oh, did he? I'm not sure. I'll have to check. But he won
the Champions League. He didn't win the Champions League,
but he won the Carling Cup and he won 2 Premier Leagues. So he would say it was worth it because he won 2 Premier Leagues.
See, during that time, so here's my big issue with Arsenal at that time.
Mm.
Our first wingers were like, we had wingers like Iwobi and like Mkhitaryan at that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had Willian, you had Pedro, you had Willian, Pedro, and like Hazard. Man City had like
Oscar,
Sterling, Sané.
You forgot about Oscar.
Yeah. Like elite wingers, right? And our we had no width whatsoever. Like our width was Kolasinac going forward.
No, you had good wingers. You had players like Nazari. You sold him to City.
No. Like during that, during the 2010, like 2010s, like.
What? Like, you mean later in the middle?
Yeah,
like,
later towards the end of
like 2014 and upwards. Yeah,
upwards. Yeah, it was Kolasinac running down the wings. Like
no, you had Arshavin as well, didn't you?
Not that was a little earlier. That was way earlier.
Oh, because he was a bad man as well. That was
a bad man.
You had a good player. The thing is with you guys, in even maybe now is probably
we
the
messed
most
around too much, man. We messed around too much.
Well, you guys would get a striker, and then you'd need a defender. You'd get a defender, then you need a midfielder. You'd get a midfielder, and then you would need a striker. So maybe this season's the best in terms of maybe not the striker thing, but you got the best balance of the other three.
Yeah, what's that phrase? You buy cheap, you buy twice. That's what we did.
Oh, is it cheap?
That's what we did.
No, it's not really cheap though, is it? Because
because now we're actually going after like elite quality. Now we're scouting better. Now we're like.
Well, wait. What define elite quality?
Well, okay, you want them. So these are big contracts, right? These are big contracts that you're gonna any of these players go on, right?
Mm.
So you want that's a 4-year investment. You can't just trash the player. You don't just give up on him.
Well, it depends.
4-year contract.
It depends if you're in a position where you can trash the player and get away. This is the thing because I've seen players that have had ridiculous money spent on them, particularly at Chelsea, and the next season they're out the door.
Same thing with Calvin Phillips had the same issue.
The thing is with Arsenal, in your regard, you guys have always been a poor selling club, a very poor selling club. You guys, you guys do not for the Özil, Pepe, Aubameyang. That should be in anyone's return. That's 100 mil back, and I'd be surprised if you scrape.
We misused them first of all, and then it's like.
Well, that's down to you. That's as an Arsenal.
That's what I'm saying. That's how deep our management problems were. So it's like so when people look at City, they're just looking for convenient 115 charges. They were the best run team in that decade.
Well, it's not even that they were best run team, because if you want to talk about the best run teams and you're talking about elites, you look past people like City and you look to people like Madrid, right? That's why that's when people say like the Premier League's not a farmers league and all the other leagues are. It's just like that's a falsity, because over the last 8 years, City have won it at least 5-6 times. If that's not farmers league standards, if you're talking about a non-farmers league, you're talking about a new winner or a different winner every other season. not the same winner repeatedly over and over again. Because City have done what Juventus have done. They've done what Man United did earlier on when they're just winning. They're on
Oh,
a
goal!
possible four,
Christian Wood.
P. They're on a
Christian
possible.
Wood. Did you see that? Christian Wood. I mean,
Yeah, it's close.
close. That was a perfect ball. Like,
Well, he just, you know what it is? He just swiped it and he went underneath it. See, this is the thing. That ball bounced underneath him,
yeah,
and he wasn't ready for it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
actually, actually now the more I watch it, that's a shocking miss. That is a very shocking miss. Ish. They should. Yeah,
That should be
Forest should have
1-1.
equalised.
Should be 1-1.
I share your view, Wolfie. Which one's that, Emmy, bro? Which particular one's that, mate?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that chance came up. I'm like, damn it, that's a missed opportunity.
Arsenal. I'll tell you one thing, right? One thing about Arsenal, I will say is, in terms of for a team that hasn't won trophies, you still on the commercial side have been able to grow and
Yeah.
be. Because let's be honest, okay, because this is one thing in a way that is kind of lucky. You guys are probably the most famous London fan base because of like of your internet exploits. You got
Yeah.
guys like Lee Gunnar, you know, AFTV, all that kind of thing. So you guys have grown just in different ways. Because City and Chelsea have grown because of their trophies, but you guys have kind of grown because of your
Yeah.
popularity, which is still
Yep.
nice to have, obviously. But obviously, you want trophies. But the thing is, now with Arsenal, I do think you guys could potentially win a lot more trophies. But like I saw with Arteta, and this is the thing that pissed me off about that North London derby earlier on, and Postecoglou didn't adapt to Arsenal in the first half, but just as badly, Arteta didn't adapt Arsenal to Spurs in the second half. Hence the reason why you guys were under so much pressure. And that's why Bayern stuck you guys out quite comfortably, to be honest. It's because it's just the tactical awareness in England's not there. And the only two managers that do have it don't really get a chance to use it.
See, with the Byron thing, I also looked at it like I'm like, if Alfonso Davies played, that would have been a different second leg too. Like
Well,
it would have been worse. It would have been way worse.
well, the thing is, it depends. Is it because a lot of people have been blaming Tuchel for what's going on in Bayern? Is it the fact of he's mismanaging the Bayern side, or you're just seeing the fact of that certain Bayern players aren't tactically quite inept as as what people make them out to be? They're still good players,
Yeah,
because
but
that's
yeah, people say this all the time. It's like, so I feel like Tuchel was probably like, like he'll tell you he'll be like blatantly honest and be like,
Mhm.
everything is bad in this way, but if the management doesn't want to be, I think I think the management usually doesn't like characters like that usually.
Well, put it this way: a lot of boards nowadays because they're so financially intertwined. They like
Yeah,
they like
they'd rather have a puppet that does what they like a
Well,
figurehead. Like,
Well, the thing is, this is
yeah,
the thing that's drastically changed in football because back in the day, and even Mourinho done it when he first came because he used to butt heads with Abramovich quite a lot as well,
yeah,
especially over Shevchenko. But if you look at Arsenal's, Chelsea's, and Man United's heydays, they all at one point or another had someone in the boardroom because obviously we had Peter Kenyon who was a big Mourinho fan,
yeah,
but we had I think Man United had Ed. Not was it Ed? Not was it Mike Dean? And you guys had obviously David Dean,
yeah,
like in the boardroom, someone who in the board that was really close to the board, had a lot of influence on the board, that really cared about the club, and that
yeah.
helped the managers immensely. Not only in terms of getting certain players in, because obviously David Dean helped you guys get people like Vieira, Lundberg, Perez. What a baller Perez was.
Yeah, it's a weird one, man. Because you contrast with Madrid. I feel like every year that manager's under fire, though, regardless of what happens. But I don't know why.
Well, the thing is, this is the thing. With with Madrid, they have the most elite mentality for a football club and the thing is with them, nothing else. And this is how mad it is. Nothing else winning other than winning in Europe is counted as a success. You can win the
Absolutely.
league, but if you don't win the Champions League, you failed. I remember when Bernd Schuster won La Liga in 2008, 2009 with Raúl and all them lot, and literally he got, even though he won it far and clear, like, you know what I mean, like.
Yeah, I've seen
It's
that.
just,
I've seen them win 6. I've seen them win that thing 6 times, man. I mean, Uh, it's insane. It's insane when you talk about Madrid.
Oh yeah, Perez. Here you go, DJ Crane. Big up, brother. Perez. I tell you what. In terms of one thing I liked about Perez, he was one of those guys that on the left hand side, on the right hand side, or in the center, he was always as dangerous as he was. And he could shoot, he could pass, he could deceive someone with a touch. But you know what I mean? That French connection back in the day, like with Perez, Henry, you had who was at the back? Oh man, I'm forgetting someone.
Sol Campbell.
No, the French connection, man. Oh, how can I forget him, man? Oh, striker you lot had, man. Waltord. How can I forget? How can I forget Sylvain Waltord? What a baller he was as well.
I mean, you know, did you see what's his name? Jose Antonio Reyes.
Yeah, of course I saw. God rest his soul. By the way, yeah. I watched him at Sevilla, and I watched him at. He was better at Sevilla, by the way. But that Super Sevilla side with Ramos and them not in it. Yeah, I remember. Of course, bless his soul. I can't believe that guy's dead, bro.
It's sad. Yeah, it was sad.
Yeah, it is. You actually took me back when you said that guy because it's just like I had to remind myself that the guy passed. Jeepers creepers. God.
See, it's crazy because I missed all of them in their heydays, but like you know, I mean, the quality has definitely gone down, man. But you know the two parts that I say that really sucks with the Prem, like it comes with like long shots and long shots, crossing, and like just like take-ons, man. It's just so different, the Prem. You know what I mean? It's like it's not encouraging. You know, Luke. You had Luka Modric. You had like John Arisa, like shooting from deep. It's hard to see like quality, like rare.
Hey, you know what? You just mentioned John Arisa. If you want to talk about a guy who can whack the ball hard off his left foot and just make it disgusting, that's John Arisa. That guy was just mad.
Oh yeah,
big up, TT.
Essien was good. Essien was just as good though. Essien was just as good though. Like Essien, he came up clutch for you guys.
Yeah, man. No, the problem is he got his injury with his knee, and he was just.
But that's the thing. But that part of the game's dead. Like long shot, like midfielders.
Well, not really, because you still see people do it now, but it's just not as much.
It's not as much, huh? Dribbling's definitely gone, but it's game's just different.
Yeah, 1 second.
All right, come on, Forrest. Let's see. Nope. I'll take it. I mean, come on. Like they just need to drop points. So I mean, 1 goal.
Well, I don't forget. I think City would make more chances
In the second half. Yeah. It's just this team, man. City with their like rise.
They're pragmatic. City are very pragmatic and they're very used to like getting results with whatever they need to. Really, you can't blame them for being professional. And this is what I'm saying because this is what makes City good. The fact they can be a bit crap but still win kind of comfortably.
Yeah, but it's like the gripe with Arsenal fans. It's like it's just like they're just that good. Like you can't just hate somebody just because they're that good. But
well, the thing is, the City thing is, the City this season isn't that good compared to the City of last season. So you know,
yeah, that has to do with Mahrez and Gundogan both gone.
Yeah, they lost a lot of quality, man. And I'm not being funny. Doku, even though I like him,
quality too. That was professional quality. That's the difference.
Oh, high level.
High level, because Gundogan had so many long range shots at the end of the last year. Like,
and I'm not being funny. Mahrez was City's right hand side, so you know that's why City have looked a bit flatter this season because they've got no right hand side anymore, other than Carl Walker, and he's starting to get injury prone. City needed. Oh wow, Forest off the bar.
Close. Oh man, that could have been great. That would have been a back flick goal. Like
it was. It kind of. You know the thing is about that one, you kind of lose flight in the ball and it just goes down into a bunch of players and just pops up again. Well,
That would have been
it's
good.
funny you mentioned Spurs because I was just saying to Bargav, DJ Crane, about with Spurs there's no adaptability, but you kind of saw the same thing for Arsenal though in the second half. Oh, I hate watching Premier League teams, man. It's just one way and that's it. It's just so terrible.
Yeah, it's like possession football and get the best pass in. But that's the thing. It's like when you look at other league, it's like the crossing is just so much better. It's
The
like
crossing, the overall ball control is just far better. That's why a lot of the time, even and that's why English teams have got slapped out of Europe so quickly
yeah,
and all at once. And like, that's the thing is, right? When I think about your Bayern game, right, when you guys had that Martinelli chance,
yeah.
and he used his left foot and instead of his right, and I'm thinking, why are you trying to open your foot up? Just put your foot through the freaking ball and smash it. Why would you try and open up your butt? That's to actually open up your body on your weaker foot and control it on a cross or pass that quickly. What are you doing? Just don't be fancy. Just smash your foot through it.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like City style's the same as Arsenal style. Pretty
No,
much.
not really. No, there's differences. One thing about it is like with Art City, try and make better use of the half spaces is in between the channels. You guys don't really do that. You guys try. You guys almost still play in your traditional sense of like you like to try and pass towards the box and use cutbacks and stuff like that.
Yep.
But the only thing I would say about Arsenal is, other than Ben White, crossing's kind of been obliterated from your team. It's all cutbacks instead of crossing.
They have different options too. Like Doku, like as much as he can be like absolute trash at times. It's pretty much like get the ball to go Doku and hope for a good cross. Like I feel like that's some City games were pretty much that. Like earlier.
Well, the thing is, one thing about City recently, they've missed the left hand side as well. Because realistically, Grealish really took that spot, and he got injured recently, but now he's back.
Last year, that was all Grealish in April.
Yeah, he's a good player. Okay, man, I'm not gonna like it. Maybe he's not the great player that everyone expects, but Grealish does a job for them, no doubt, man. I respect him. I respect Grealish. Cut back through. Yeah, there you go. When they pack, that's pretty much, there you go. That's what DJ Crane said. It bang on. You just do the cut back through ball or after the through ball, because you were just talking about Pires and all that. How many times did they do the little ping pong thing? The ball would come in the middle and straight in the goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those ones where I miss. Okay, I tell you what. Now I know Arsenal. Right? Okay. I'm gonna big up the British team here. Stuff it. I'm gonna take a shot. I don't care. I'm going for it. Barcelona for me did not invent tiki-taka football. Arsenal and Arsene Wenger did, because if you look at the way Barcelona counter-attacked, when they had Messi in them lot, it would be 3 or 4 passes around the box. They would find the spare man and they would cut through. In terms of playing to find the spare man, I used to see Arsenal do exactly the same thing, but where Barcelona would have 10 passes, Arsenal used to have 3 or 4. Because it used to be, like, I don't know, someone in defence like Campbell, he would pass out to Vieira. Vieira would run out, probably get to about the halfway line. Maybe Ljungberg might be on the right, Pires might be on the left. He would pass to one of them, continue his run. Henry would already be cutting ahead, or Burkout would be sitting in the half spaces ready for the pass. Or eventually what might have been Reyes or whoever you have here. And eventually, literally within 3 or 4 passes, bang.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
the thing with Barcelona is because they had Messi as the false 9. I don't think their system could have worked with anybody else as a false
wait. Excuse me. Their system was actually implemented by Frank Rijkaard, not Pep Guardiola. That was it. Because if you actually look at them, because if you actually look at the 4-3, if you actually look at the 4-3-3 they used, who brought Xavi into the team, who brought Iniesta into the team, who brought Messi into the team, and if you remember him as well, Bojan as well, Pedro on the right as well. They were all introduced by Frank Rijkaard, not Pep Guardiola, mate.
So, Dani Alves, I mean,
no, Dani Alves. No, they had Belletti at first. When they first won the Champions League, they had Belletti in them. They didn't have Dani Alves yet. That's more 2009 and onwards. I'm talking when Barcelona first came back onto the scene under Ronaldinho, Eto'o, Ludovic Junior, Marquez, big up Carlos Puyol. He is one of the best defenders I've ever seen. Because if you want to talk about, I'll tell you what, if Spurs had Carlos Puyol, they'd be invincible. Because that guy was the key at running back and making last ditch. Forget Gerard Piqué. Compared to Puyol, that guy is a complete fraud. I don't even want to hear Gerard Piqué's name when it comes to being a class diff. And Sergio Ramos, Mr. Foul
No,
FC.
it was definitely Puyol. It was definitely Puyol. I mean, that was.
Mate, Puyol, that guy was silent. Because the thing is, as well, one thing I used to love about him as well, he never used to snap. I'd seen people punch him, pull his hair, try and wrench his shirt off, and he never, ever, ever snapped. The guy was daddy cool, man. I've got so much love for Carlos Puyol.
Yeah, but you know when they put Messi as false nine though, that was I mean.
Well, no, because originally when Messi got into the team, he was a right winger.
Yeah, but Pep is the one who put him as false nine though, right?
No, because it's actually Rijkaard that played him as a 10 because if you actually look at it, when Messi was first coming into the team under Rijkaard, he used to get put in a bit. He used to drift central. If you watch Messi's first goal for Barcelona, when he takes on with it half the Espanyol defense and does that lovely, that is vintage Messi. He gets the ball on the right hand side. He comes into the center. He cuts in and he uses his left foot. Bang.
Yeah, evolution of a Maradona, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is with Messi, one thing I loved about Messi, which I do outly respect, where he got older and he realized his legs was going, he dropped deeper, so he almost became like an out and out number 10. Because
he chose his moments better, I think, as he got older.
Exactly. Yeah, he adapted his game to his body, and that's what I like about. That's why I love Messi so much, and I watched that guy his whole career, and just watching him going through because it was all the problems when he first went to Barcelona about his size. They had to give him the growth hormones. There was even a little joke in La Liga that if you ever used to watch a program back in the day called Revisit La Liga, there was even a little joke that they put him in one of those old Victorian stretching machines, just you know when he used to torture him, just to make him that little bit taller. Blah blah blah. But it was brilliant. Barca took all the players that had football brain in respective positions from Arsenal, and they helped them build the behemoth team under Pep. Well, what? Not really, because they signed Sagna, Hleb, Fabregas.
Hleb, Fabregas.
But none of them were blistering. None of them were blistering. Even Fabregas is probably the best of the three names we've just seen.
Henry went there at the end.
Yeah. Oh no, Henry. It was because the thing is about Henry as well. He sacrificed his game by getting pushed out left. But that front three of Eto'o, Messi, and Henry, that's still the scariest front three. Henry and Eto'o. Just Henry and Eto'o was enough, but just to have Messi in there as well. I'll big up Stepsy. Hope things are all good, my
It's crazy. The only one that didn't work. It's the only one that didn't work was Zlatan.
No. That's the misconception.
He won.
Zlatan was not a failure because if you actually watched him in his first 16 games for Barcelona, he scored every goal. Every game, but the problem is when he got pushed out to the right to accommodate Messi, Ibra's like, why not just let us play as a pairing? And Pep's no, I don't like that. That's just Pep being stubborn. Because I'm not being funny. He missed a trick with Eto'o, because that's the ultimate story for me in football. If you want to see a revenge story, look at the story of Eto'o with Pep Guardiola, because he left a treble winner, took the European title away from Barcelona, away from Pep, and won another treble. That guy done back-to-back trebles. Who in history does back-to-back with two different teams?
You're talking about
two different teams.
Pep?
No, Samuel Eto'o.
Oh, Samuel Eto'o.
He done a triple.
He
done a triple with Barcelona in the 2009. Then he went off and done a triple with Inter in 2010. The only Italian team to do a triple, by the way. Big up Samuel Eto'o. That guy's one of the best foot. I hated Samuel Eto'o. He was so good, bro. That guy just used to pop up out of nowhere. Eto'o was class, man. And you know what the worst part about it is? When he finished haunting us for Barcelona with all those near post finishes, the bastard came along and done it with Inter as well. He put us out in the Champions League with Inter, with Mourinho.
Oh yeah.
What a sucker.
That Inter team's the reason Balotelli has a Champions League. He's won everything in world football, which is crazy.
You know what the thing is about that Inter team that was so special? Mourinho had won the league, but it was one of those ones to get that treble off. So it's one of those ones where he had to sign like the Lucios, a couple of other players that people thought were
Dan
washed up,
Matarazzi,
but
right? Dan Matarazzi.
Mourinho had a really good eye for it, and then like because the infamous Mourinho's thing, a lot of people saying the greatest defeat was the Barcelona 2-0 in Barcelona. Well, not so many people remember 3 weeks before Inter Milan 3, Barcelona 1. You know, like it's funny, like the the conspiracy theories in football, if you like, but that all of the Barcelona success was down to Pep and Messi, and it wasn't, man. It wasn't.
No,
It
it
really
wasn't.
wasn't.
It wasn't. I think, but those are. I mean, it did wear him out though, and he quit after 2 years, right? Basically.
Oh, step of Jesus Christ! Yeah, I just thought of the result yesterday. Yeah, just say Stepsy, man. Do you think you can still get out of it though? Let me know, man, because the relegation battle's almost as tight as the blooming title race. That's a. I felt so sorry for Luton. I like Luton. You know what I like about Luton? They're a scrapping team. I do like that about them. You know what? I think it was 2-1, wasn't it? Was it 2-1? You guys were unlucky. I think they do scrap though. Luton, Barca and Inter. Yeah, you're damn strippity. Big up DJ Crane for that. Yeah, man, won one triple. Was like, all right, Pep, you don't think I'm good enough? All right, cool, no worries. I'll go to Inter and I'll win another one, back to back.
So it
There
was
you go.
Zanetti, Maicon, Materazzi,
Zanetti, Maicon, Lucio, Matarazzi,
Lucio,
Zanetti, yeah, Lucio. You had Schneider. You had Mkhitaryan.
Tegamota,
Yeah, Stankovic.
Cambiaso. I like
Cambridge,
Cambiaso.
the Milito, big up Diego Milito. What a baller! What a striker he was.
Yeah.
Oh, unlucky dude.
I didn't know Marco Arnautovic was on that squad. It was
No,
Balotelli.
no, yeah, Nautovic came from Inter as well. Yeah, true. And Nautovic.
Oh,
he's
you
a
had
good player.
Quaresma. You had Quaresma too.
Yeah, Charisma as well. The Portuguese, the outside of his foot wizard, as I call him, Quaresma, Ricardo Quaresma, because that guy, bro, he uses the outside of his foot as good as some people use the inside of their foot. It's bloody mad.
Yeah, it was great for all the Portuguese sides, man.
Yeah, he was Ricardo Quaresma. Never could quite.
He won
do anywhere else.
he won the what is it, Euro 2012?
Yeah, he was there with Portugal, innit?
Yeah.
When they won the Euros, yeah. Of course.
Was it 16 or 12? I think no, yeah, it's 16. I think 12
was
was
16.
12 was won by Spain, right?
Yeah, that's right. Bournemouth beat Brentford 3-0. Oh, is that the other? Was that the other score today?
It's the other game, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. All right then. Wow, that's a good result for Bournemouth. Who scored for Bournemouth? Solanke. That's actually quite a shock. Actually, I didn't think they'd pace Brentford like that.
I mean, Bournemouth has that. Yeah. Bournemouth.
Can I just say one thing right now? Right now we've got a mixture of fans here, Arsenal, whatever. Right, Ivan Toney. Is he really looking like that player that everyone thought he was going to be, like about halfway through the season?
I mean, that's hard though.
It was Brighton. Brighton got smashed. Oh, there you go then.
Yeah, it was Brighton.
Oh yeah. Brentford played yesterday. They still lost though. But yeah, anyway, still on Brentford though. Like, does anyone think Ivan Toney would be this revolutionary player if he still goes to a Liverpool, Arsenal, or Chelsea? Because when I saw him yesterday,
I think so.
He got involved, but he just wasn't that brilliant.
I think so, man. I just I feel with Ivan Toney, it's like he has that competitive fire, man. So I even saw it on the Arsenal game. He has that competitive fire. Secondly, like he has all the traits. It's just a matter of like getting it out of him in around the best talent. I think it's going to be exactly like Declan Rice. As soon as he comes here, he's going to go up another level.
What do you think? He's mine somewhere else then in a Brentford shirt.
Well, I mean, he still loves the club, so I think he loves his days there. So I don't. You never. When you're in that situation, like you're probably just enjoying your moments.
Big up Leroy of the Fight Week Showcase. How are you doing? Good day, sir. How you doing? How you doing, mate? You're right. Yeah, your fellow countryman's had a bad day. Ange just take a beating at the arms of the Arsenal today. Yeah, I'm trying to do my thing, bro. Trying to do my thing. Big up as well. If you missed it as well, the Rambling Dad podcast did a nice watch along for UFC last night. So please make sure you check that out, and obviously check out the Fight Week Showcase and the Fight Week Show.
Hey, who fought last night?
Oh, there was loads of fights last night. It was a whole UFC card. I need to. What was the main event? Blimey, that's how
Oh, it was
bad
a
it
fight
is.
night. It was a fight night. It was a fight night. Yeah.
Yeah, UFC event, isn't it? I think it was UFC Vegas though, so
Alex
it wasn't
Perez,
one. It wasn't one of
Perez.
the biggest ones.
And so you guys got 2 knockouts at the very end.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, was it UFC Vegas 91, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, but anyway, I'm not going to try and give up the results and whatever else. Check out the Fight Week showcase and the Fight Week show. But obviously, they're obviously going to be like doing the results and stuff for it. But I still need to learn from. There you go.
Alex Perez body.
Oh, he bodied it. Was it a knockout or did you
Yeah.
get a submission?
There were 2 knockouts. That's what I just read. 2 knockouts.
Oh, fair enough. You know, it makes me laugh is I was talking with my miss because she was working nights last night. I didn't really, even when I saw that Jourdain was doing a podcast, literally, I just got off the phone with my missus. He was like, "We're wrapping it up now, Wolfie." I was like, "I know, mate. I just thought we quickly put up and say hello because I hadn't been in the stream." Hang on a minute.
Oh, I forget. Like, so the next UFC fight is next week.
Well, I'm not being funny for once, even though I'm not really a big boxing fan. I need Usyk and Tyson Fury to hurry up and happen because I still think Tyson Fury is going to get his face smashed in, or at least I hope he gets his face smashed in. So it's just, yeah, roll on.
He's a good fighter.
Roll on May, man. Roll on May.
He's a good fighter, though. Tyson Fury.
No, he is, but I think he's one of those guys that he's reached his peak and he's on his way down because he's not really. He's a master of his trade, but he's not an artist of his trade in terms of the sense of like certain boxers that always look like they're striving to improve. And I'm not being funny. I know the Nogueira fight was quite a shock to him because he got knocked down and all that kind of thing. But he's just not a great champion for me. I think AJ might have been a better champion, but AJ's just not.
He's something else, man. I mean, because I'll tell you this, like. So you know how he had his like little hiatus. He went on like the God tour and everything, right?
Yeah.
And then
so then I like the way you said that. Yeah, go on.
It pretty much was like. So then he
Thank
fights
Wilder.
Wilder.
Thank you.
Then he fights Wilder. And then some of the changes he's made is like he comes here, he hangs out in Detroit, like, and some of the gym there is really nice. Like which one? I forgot the name of it, but the gym there is like really nice. Hires like the best nutritionist probably in the world, which is like Lockhart. Gets his like he made a lot of changes. I mean, that was surprising. Like I didn't think that Wilder, like that second fight I thought would be closer, but he absolutely obliterated Wilder. Then he goes on the tour. I mean, he puts on a show everywhere he goes, though. True entertainer.
Yeah, he's an entertainer, but he's not a great.
He has skills too, man.
Yeah, he does have skills too, but I don't think he's built off those skills. If you know what I mean. Only you hear it's what he says as well, because a lot of modern fighters, it's that Conor McGregor era.
Yeah,
they use a lot of banter as well, and it's just like, dude, shut up, man.
Who else did he fight? Who else did he fight like during that run? That's why like I thought it was kind of incredible. The Ngannou thing, I think he was just like, I'm just gonna show up and hope for the best, like. But
Ngannou's got hitting power but no strategy. That's the problem with Ngannou had against Fury, because as soon as Fury actually started to box him, like as soon as he actually like started to box it, that's when Nogueira started to struggle. But it was when maybe Fury underestimated him, just took it lazily. Who knows?
Oh, he looked totally. He was like, I'm just here for like the free money.
Free money, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was one of those. You know how bad it was. I remember that fight that night as well, because you had to wait an hour in between the fight, and we had to watch all the music. And I was thinking, I remember watching boxing where you didn't get all that stupidity. It was just about the fights. There was no artist there trying to release a new tune. There was no social media, nothing like that. It was just you got one fight, then you got the other, then you got the other, then you got the other. That was it. One of the greatest fights I ever stayed up to watch when I was a kid was Bruno Tyson.
Bruno Tyson.
Yeah, because one thing about it is, even though we all thought Bruno might have had a chance if he could like start jabbing at Tyson, the way Tyson animaled him was just different class. Because if you want to talk about being an animal, Tyson is the perfection of that. If you want to talk about being a pure boxer, Muhammad Ali.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I'll big up Joe Frazier as well for being. Was it Frazier or counter puncher? Who's the best counter puncher other than Mayweather? I don't really like Mayweather's style too much. He's a bit boring, but
It's too
he's a
defensive.
bit, yeah, it's too defensive. But he's the best counterpunch. Retired undefeated, didn't he? So as far as I know,
I
sad.
can't blame him. I mean, his marketing skills were like the top notch.
Well, that's another thing. That's why I said that kind of Conor McGregor. Because I'm not gonna lie, Pacquiao. I don't know, man. I expected more from him. Al Pacquiao.
I mean, he had a shoulder injury. He had a shoulder injury. Like they wouldn't let him get the did they let him get the injection right before the fight? Um,
Not sure. Not
like yeah,
sure.
it was really bad. Like it was really bad. Like it was a really bad injury that Pacquiao had. You can't just like not show up to a fight of that magnitude either. So there's so many
No,
contracts.
you wouldn't want to.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to. So
And
I mean,
and the thing is, boxers and UFC fighters or MMA artists, whatever you want to call it, say they rarely go into fights 100% anyway.
yeah, the one that was like, so Amir Khan, I actually liked Amir Khan for a while, and then uh, he had skills, man. He had skills. It's just, I mean, I give him respect for him like going up and trying to fight Canelo.
Hmm.
He's probably winning on the cards on that. He was definitely winning on the cards. It's just the power.
Oh well, while I'm not being funny, one thing I will say that's the worst. That's the one thing I will say that MMA and boxing have both suffered from over the last 5 years. Just like football, officiating has gone down the pot extremely much.
Yeah, I mean, when John Jones got that, what was it? There's some like, yeah, there's been really some like questionable like refereeing
Well,
stuff.
John Jones. One thing I like about John Bones Jones, right? One thing about if you want to talk about a gifted fighter, he's everything that you would want in
Every
a
single
gifted.
way.
He's
Every single way.
he's rounded, but he's just got too much off the bloody field antics, man. He's just what's this? What are you doing out of the cage, man? You're getting like hit and runs, drunken disorderlies, abuse, like assault cases. Just bro, man, just be a good champ. At least Hulk Hogan, even though he was a fake champion, at least this guy didn't have bare rape charges and stuff back in the day for
Oh, I mean,
WWE. He was a good face for the company, you know what I mean? Like,
with John, I think he just loves partying. I don't blame him. The issue is like when you mix alcohol and like all the
mm-hmm. Or arrogant, because he's
like,
an arrogant sucker. He won't admit it, but he is an arrogant sucker.
he should not be driving. He should not be driving like when you're like drinking. And that's um,
Leroy says Canelo is just a
sometimes
different animal, says Leroy.
like sometimes I'm like, all right, fine. If you're like, you know, if you go out and you're like, all right, you get, just don't drive. You know, especially if you have the resources, right?
Mm.
You could
Yeah.
get like, you could get your like, hell, you could get your like car like back to your house.
Well, the thing is, this is why I miss. Okay, I don't get me wrong. In terms of the hype and
Richmond,
the numbers, I do respect the fact of maybe the Conor McGregor era. It had greater views because the
yeah,
infamous him and Khabib. The fact that it was throwing glass through coach windows and stuff like that. But for me, in terms of
I was there.
UFC's, well, it was it was mad, didn't it? It just gave the UFC views and clicks because. But one thing I missed the UFC in like the 2002s, threes, fours, fives when you had class champions around, like people like Randy Couture's, the Matt Hugheses, the Anderson Silvers. You know what I mean?
Brock
These guys were all humbled. Okay, don't worry, they come across a little bit arrogant because they were confident in their abilities, but that's as far as it went. You know what I mean? These guys they
Yeah,
would go out and I'll never forget when
Tito
GSP folks.
Ortiz.
Yeah, but the thing is, Tito, he was a mouthy sucker, but he was still a good champion when he was champion. He still knocked guys out, and he obviously had his famous rivalry with Chuck. That obviously, oh, hang on, Forest it in. No, was it
No, but
offside?
it's interesting because I talked to some people that were like followers from the very beginning, right? And you know when
Mm.
they had like no time limits and like they had like jujitsu. You know, jujitsu was more encouraged with the gi and with so it's
The classic form.
like
Yeah,
the classic form.
that was before Dana White and the Thingy brothers took over, though. That was when it was first started, when there was no weight classes or
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
That's when you could elbow people on the floor, like mad.
throws and stuff like that. Yeah, like I mean, it was because it was interesting because that's what my friends keep saying is I know this guy like he fought he fought like kickboxing and MMA
Hmm.
and so it's huge here, but um I absolutely like it's interesting with like UFC. Like you saw Anderson, right? You saw Anderson back in the day with like
What,
in the clinic,
Silver?
clinch elbow, yeah, clinch like
Yeah, of
knee,
course. Yeah, if
clinch knee to end
Yeah,
the fight.
Rich Franklin was the best example of that because when he got
Yeah,
him in the butterfly clinch and he held the back of his head and he just
yeah.
started laying into him
I
with
mean,
his, he was
absolute
done.
perfect technique, perfect
Yes,
technique. I mean,
and he couldn't do nothing because he
you
was
do
just
that.
that Silver had such a lanky frame compared to him. He just couldn't get off of him.
I feel like Nick Diaz with his like the amount of
Nate,
energy, the like running marathons, etc. Like
right,
that's a unique fight.
I tell you what, Nate Diaz. One thing I like about him, he's got character. But the thing is,
Well,
as well, like when you
kind
had
of bring
guys like,
up,
do you remember guys like Chris Lieben and stuff like that? People
yeah,
that really had heart and character, and they made it entertaining. That's what, because realistically, when UFC got popular, it was two things. It was the fact that they had some really good champions,
yeah,
and the fact that they had some really good coaching shows like Ultimate Fighter and stuff. You
yeah.
saw all the dynamic, because one thing about it is the biggest sport in fighting sense at that point was probably wrestling, and we all knew
Oh,
that was fake. You never saw the guys in the gym pumping it out. You never saw them fighting at home, fighting at training, all that kind of thing. And that's what UFC, the Ultimate Fighter, kind of brought. Bargav, Leroy's asking you, do you train?
yeah. Yeah, I do the training. I don't fight. Like I don't like
What do you do? What you mean? You exercise or you do
like
actual
yeah,
martial
yeah,
arts?
exercise. Like
Oh right,
exercise. Like
okay.
yeah, I did Muay Thai. I did Muay Thai for a long time, and then the one thing I just
Oh,
never got. I never got the ground game. I just never got the ground. I just haven't never had the lessons for the ground game are expensive, man. Like I mean, if you ever like doing jujitsu or like
dude, I remember when I was 14 and I tried that, and I tried enrolling in a Shaolin
yeah.
lessons. You know what makes me laugh? He said, "All right, then cool, but before we teach you actual fighting, you're gonna have to learn 12 months just to do the stretches."
Oh yeah, so for me it was the footwork with Muay Thai because it had to be because you can get swept and stuff like that like in
Hmm.
traditional Muay Thai. So that it's the same thing with like it's the same like all martial arts are nice, man. I wish I could do like sometimes like Krav Maga and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
that,
Krav Maga, that's close quarters combat. That's the
yeah,
that's
because
Israeli close quarters combat. Well, CQ.
that one's about like how to deal with knives and stuff like that, like
Well,
gun
that's
wielding.
all basis of CQC, isn't it? Close quarters
Yeah,
combat.
I always
That's
wanted to do that one. I mean, just some of those stuff is like just so out there, like expensive, but you can kind of like learn by yourself some of it, um, but yeah, training wise, I did MMA, I did Muay Thai for a bit. Boxing, I took boxing just for like to learn the punches and stuff, right? Because there's different types of punches.
mm-hmm. Yep.
Um,
Twist your hips on every single one, though. Make sure you put your hips into it.
yeah, MMA workouts are like probably for me. I think MMA workouts and like football workouts are pretty nice too. Like MMA workouts are really good. Like in terms of
Well,
just like
when I was training with Oren, I used to be training 4 hours a day, 3 days a week.
4 hours a
Mo-
day, like
3 days a week, yeah. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday,
and there's
Friday.
different stuff with bags too. Like if you have like
4 days, not three
with
days.
training bag, it's like sometimes they do incorporate ground games. Sometimes it's like um, obviously it's like there's a lot of like calisthenics, so like burpees and like movements and stuff like that. With compared to like traditional lifting, I try to get like a mix of both though, because I do think like you get better body control with like MMA stuff.
Well, the thing is, it's more core muscles with
It is.
MMA stuff, right? If you build up your core muscles, you're gonna have a lot better body control anyway. That's why I always do my core muscles.
I mean, yeah, I think you have to work. It's weird because people have a lot of like imbalances though. Like get a lot of imbalances based on like whatever sports you play. But it's important to do every single muscle, and I think that's what MMA like kind of puts like fitness into perspective a lot better. Now, actual fighting, have you done like an actual like fight? Yeah,
I've done more than my fair share of fighting, unfortunately, but I've got the scars to prove it.
yeah.
I'll just believe it or not, I had a fight recently, and I got a shoulder injury from it, and I've just spent eight
That's
months
the worst.
recovering.
That's the worst part because the actual like fighting portion is nice, man. Figuring out like an opponent and stuff like that. The hard part is like you're dealing with like the recovery that comes with it and whatnot. So there's a lot of fighters around here. So I mean,
One thing about it, if you choose to fight, whether it's professionally or just because you're a nutcase, Remember, sometimes you can end up with scars this long. I've got a perfect example on that. It's not always where it's cracked up to be.
Did you ever get your like leg condition? Like, did you have to do like leg conditioning to like deal with like kicks and stuff?
Well, when I was training, when back in the day, yeah, of course you do. And I'm not being funny. Even when you're training with football, anyway, like for example, leg conditioning is even as important in that as it would be in
Oh
MMA,
yeah,
because obviously you're moving around a lot more. You're using your hips and stuff a lot more. To be honest, actually, like when it comes down to turning and twisting, there's a couple of good football exercises that would be good incorporated into MMA, especially when it comes to turning. There's one thing about it, you'd say that's with certain footballers, they can, especially the lower like footballers that are
yeah,
lower
yeah.
than the ground, they can twist and turn very quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Body control, especially the lower body, is that's the thing with football. But
Yo, Wolfie is the one punch knockout king. Yeah, I forgot. He's actually seen me fight a couple of times actually. Big up DJ Crane. Bargav, I threw him about like a wet tracksuit. Hey, who did you throw around? Like what? DJ Crane or me? All right. I think Rosie's confused me for one of her Mario stars.
I think uh, I think she has a son that trains. Like,
Yeah, she has a son that trains. Considering she's scared of. Nah, Rosie, she might throw a cup of tea or a remote at my head, but I don't think she'd be throwing me around. Somehow that doesn't strike me as Rosie's style. Somehow, you know.
wait,
Forest
what was your favorite discipline, martial arts wise? What was your favorite discipline?
kickboxing,
Kickboxing.
and the thing is, I used to love because when I was growing up, obviously things like Streets of Rage and all
Yeah,
these kind of things. And there was always a kickboxing guy. Fatal Fury, Final Fight, whatever. There was always a kickboxing guy, and I do love like the styles of the knees, the punches, the kicks, the mixes,
yeah,
the elbow. One thing I love about as well about kickboxing is the elbowing as well, and Muay Thai.
yeah. Muay Thai is just different, man. Like, I think the clinch is probably the hardest to learn. I think like the clinch.
Mm. Well, it's the thing is if the thing is with clinches, if you do them in the wrong way, you end up leaving yourself more vulnerable that you'd be
Yeah,
if you were not. Like if you get a butterfly clinch run, for example, and you're holding someone wrong, and you still leave their shoulders and stuff free, and you've got a problem because literally you're literally standing there like that, trying to hold the back of the neck, so they can just go bang, 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 like
yes.
you know.
Let me ask you this: like, who do you think? So I've always had this debate with a friend, right? So I thought Khabib's like control was different, like wrestling wise, right?
Right.
Like I think like just the way like weight placement, like he can get you in positions and just keep you there. How do you think
Mhm.
like if him and Jones were about the same size? Who do you think
Who and Jones?
if Khabib and Jones were about the
Oh,
same size? How do you think that fight would actually go? Because that's the fight that I never know. Like I feel like
you know what? I hear what you're saying because Khabib's the kind of guy who'll take you down to the floor, frustrate the crap out of you, and
yeah,
slowly beat you up. But the thing is, I have to say about Jones, he's more well-rounded than what Khabib is. And I'm not being funny with Jones because he is so, and he's pretty good at just about everything.
yeah.
He can go down to the floor because, as far as I know, other than being DQ'd, he's never been beaten either. Because I know he got DQ'd against
And some
what's his name? Against the deaf guy. I can't remember Mark something.
no, no, no. Like the same size. See, the thing is with like Jones, I've always looked at it. I'm like, he has IQ. Like when he tripped Daniel Cormier, right? He tripped Daniel
Hmm.
Cormier like after the kick. Stuff like that,
Right.
like stuff like that is like really impressive. Like you're like he's even the Shogun, even like the Shogun fight. Like there's so many moments with John Jones that were like really impressive.
Oh, you know what? The greatest hype I ever seen around a Shogun Rua fight was in him and Machida. That was a beautiful fight. That
Oh
was.
yeah, Machida.
Ryota Machida.
But it's so weird because with Khabib, I feel like when he got at you on the ground, it really because I've seen him beat up Daryl Horcher, I've seen him beat up like Michael, what was it like Johnson, and I've seen him. Then Khabib, then his like reign. The only thing is we never got to see him like defend. That was always the
Right.
problem.
Well, even you know what? One thing I will say about that Khabib, and I know Leroy was laughing a second ago, but I hear what you're saying in terms of like if you just erase the size difference. But the uh, one thing about Jones is, and I'll state this again because it can't be understated, he was so good technically, well rounded.
Yeah.
Right? Because you tell me, what's Jones's weakness?
None, because like he has all the techniques that he keeps you at
Exactly.
distance. He has good distance management. He could take you to the ground actually. Like he could
Yeah, he
probably
could, and he can knock you out, which
knock you
is
out. So it's like he was so balanced. He was really so balanced, and also his family. If you ever seen it, like NFL players, they're some of the most athletic people on the planet. So he grew up around like really good athleticism, like
hmm.
untouchable athleticism. So it's like
Well, like Goku says, you can always work on it and make it better. Oh wow, City just missed a big
the
chance.
only thing. The only thing that
Alvarez.
I mean, his biggest enemy is just off the field stuff, which
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier. Because realistically, Jones should be the best ever, hands down.
oh, it should. I still think he is, but like
Nah, he's
that's just
too
that
much.
one fight. I don't know. I mean, that's just the one fight. I'm like, if they
You
were
know
the
what it
same
is?
guy,
The thing
never had
is, he's got what every true champion has though. He's got controversy following him around left, right, and center. But yeah,
yeah.
that being said, like Leroy's just said, it's Jones and it ain't even close. No, I don't think it'd be.
Because his rise was incredible. His rise was incredible, like best of the best, and then it's like
Well,
he's defended really well. And
well, I tell you
techniques
what,
are like
it's true. But the thing is, because of his body, one thing about Khabib, if he can't get you on the floor, he'll struggle. And I
he'll
think
just
it's
keep
one of
trying though. He'll just keep trying like that. Oh,
no,
what's
no,
the
he
one fight?
will.
Like
But the thing is,
Trujillo, right? Yeah.
but if there's one person in the universe you don't want to be taking free shots from, and that's John Bones Jones, because it could be an elbow, it could be an uppercut, it could be a knee, it could be a head kick. Either way, it's gonna
Yeah,
hurt a lot.
it's gonna hurt, yeah.
So,
But even then, like him when he got out of the Poirier guillotine, that was talk
well, the
about one of
thing,
the best moments in MMA.
well, the
Like
thing is, that's why everyone thought Connor was gonna do some damage to. I don't really think Connor's on Khabib's level, if I'm honest, but. You see, it was that styles make fight thing, you know. He had the knockout power and all that kind of thing, and it,
but his striking was
yeah.
crisp back in the day, though. His
No,
striking
his
was
striking was
crisp.
crisp. The only thing about thing is, like, again, I like Conor McGregor, but he's just not well rounded. He's not
Oh
great
yeah,
on the. He's never been great on the floor. Never has been. Never will be. Good standing up.
I'll take it. I'll give it to him though. Like at least he made an effort toward. I mean, I think he definitely made an effort with the ground stuff
Yeah,
towards
he
the end.
tried, but he just wasn't talented at it. You know what I mean? You can work on your ground game, but there's certain people that are really talented at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, Khabib, someone on the ground who's really, really talented. You know what I mean? I think in terms of being balanced, maybe Nate Diaz was better than someone like Conor McGregor. But
Oh no, yeah.
yeah, he's more well-rounded than say someone like McGregor. Silva used to be quite most of them in terms of the Thiago Silvas, the Anderson Silvas.
GSP. I mean, people say GSP. You know, one person that I think like. I mean, you know,
He evolved. GSP evolved.
Tyron Woodley and like Kamaru Usman. I feel like they go like
Yeah, of
people.
course.
They go under the radar for how good they're like
Yeah, Usman's
title
brilliant.
reign were. I get the Woodley hate because
Don't forget about Izzy as well. You can't forget about Izzy.
oh
Izzy
yeah, I
Woodley.
forgot Izzy. Yeah, Izzy too.
He's a class fighter. Because one thing about it is some of the
Well,
great.
I'm like forever pissed. I mean, I love Yoel Romero, but I wish he wrestled him. I wish he wrestled him that much.
Because the thing is, one thing I like about if you look at all the great fighters,
Yeah.
they all of them have their weaknesses, but as their time goes on, they slowly eliminate their weaknesses. And GSP is the best example of that. That's a guy that just got better and better and better and better and better. He was weird because he thought he got abducted by aliens and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
it turns out he just fell asleep. But you know, like it's madness. Connor in a flash pan.
That's pretty
says
much what it was.
Skepta.
But it was just incredible, man. That was incredible. Like you know, I'm never gonna forget Max Holloway nearly stepped up to because I was at that Brooklyn card when Khabib won his title. Max
Were
Holloway.
you?
Yeah, I mean, I was there.
Nice.
But if it could have been Max Holloway versus.
I didn't realize you were so MMA versed. You know, I might talk to you about
Oh, yeah.
doing a show as well at some point. Mark, have me and you do a little MMA show.
Yeah, I'm big in it. Like, I was good. I love going. I don't really. It's weird because like after that event, I'm like, I'd rather just watch this on TV because it's just it's too. A lot of these sporting events now is just too corporate, man. Like,
Yeah, it's too
actual
crowded.
the actual fans can't afford they can't afford like the ridiculous tickets that some of these have. And a lot of the corporate tickets are cheaper, right? And so some of those guys just don't even care about the sport. And so-
For those who are still watching the City game, Haaland's on the pitch now, by the way. I just realised we haven't really spoken about this for the last 10, 15 minutes. My bad.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
he's very nice.
man, come on, Forrest. It's just difficult, man. This game.
Well, they've been more in it this half than they have the second, first half, but
Well, Kevin De Bruyne and like Haaland trying to getting that connection together, but
mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on De Bruyne? Is he the same as he always was, or is he on the decline now? He
I
doesn't
mean,
quite seem
I think he's matched Odegaard for goals and assists, missing half the season.
Steven. Well,
Like it's see Odegaard's best game was because he's definitely like towards the end of the season has had good performances, but I mean, come on, like Kevin De Bruyne is a different beast, man. It's weird because like with Belgium, I could never figure out
oh, City
what
save. De Bruyne had a shot from the edge of the area from near the D. Who's that? Someone's just pulled up injured for Forest.
But look at that, like he would have he could have played like he could have played in the previous decade though, like De Bruyne.
Yeah, De
Long
Bruyne's
range
class,
shots,
man.
long range
Generation,
shots, like vision.
generational talent. Generational talent. Bend it like Kevin. No, I'm joking.
I'm never gonna forget that goal that he, Belgium versus Brazil, like long range goal, like
Yeah.
that. Never forget those.
But then again, when it comes to City, though, I'm still a bit Yaya biased. I loved Yaya Toure.
Oh, he was
Great.
class.
Great player, man. Could do everything defensively, attacking wise. Could score a long shot as well.
Pep ironed him out though. Pep like got him out of the team, but
Well, yeah, that's the second team he's done it actually because he did it to him in Barcelona as well.
oh yeah. I don't know
There
what
you
it
go.
was, man. Because that guy was a solid player. He was a solid player.
Pep had his favourites. That's all it was. Get JPT
weird
on and you have
because,
a trio of danger fight show. The trio of danger. Someone's been watching a bit too much Dragon Ball.
I mean, what is it? Mexican Independence Day is like next week, right? So it should be a big fight next week.
Bro, you're asking an Irishman about Mexican independence. Forget about it, bro.
No, it's usually the big fight. They usually have a big fight like
Yeah.
for that day.
Hey, City on the counter again.
Ah, come on.
Well, it's been all City over the last 5-10
Ball given
minutes.
away.
I like
Ball
that.
given away again.
Canelo next Saturday. Yep.
Oh, next Saturday. Okay.
Trio of danger. 3 foxes running around. Are you a Dragon Ball fan, Bargav?
I watched it. I watched it back in the
Oh.
day.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't watch. I didn't watch GT or anything. I saw Z, but
No. Watch Super. That's class. But yeah, because that's where the trio of danger is from. Game's been boring. It's been not as in fight exciting, but as earlier on because there's not been as many goals. But one thing about Arsenal fans, you guys should be very happy with the fact that Forest. Oh, I was just about to say they're still in it, but I've just seen. Yeah, I guess I'll say Rosie's just confirmed it.
this is my gripe. This is my gripe with City. Like watching them.
Yeah, they're pragmatic. This is the thing. The thing is, this is game management. You see how they're slowing the game down and teasing Forest, making Forest come out. That's game management, bro. It's Erling Haaland. The Viking scores. Here we go. Peeling off the. Here we go. Shoot. Yeah, good goal as well. Erling Haaland.
De Bruyne assist.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing, man.
Simple as pass. Simple pass.
Well, the thing is, he's in between the two players, and none of them try and pick him up. So he's just, yeah, man. As much space as you like.
See, that's the thing. It's like their standard. It was at the beginning of the season is do another treble. Like, imagine that's the hard part. That's what you go up against. So
the thing is, they got injuries though.
Still, every single year they win a trophy. That's another their standard. That's their standards.
Well, that's Pep's standards, really.
Yeah, and they're probably the only ones that could do that.
And it's not. Let's be honest. It's not that they haven't spent 1.7 billion on their players since Pep's been there. Yep, Luton's still in it. Yeah, exactly. Steps will be happy about this because obviously it keeps Forest where they are. Yep, not down and buried yet, brother. And obviously, at the moment, it looks like City are going to close the gap again. So Pressure back on Arsenal because if City win that game in hand, they leapfrog you guys again. That
Which one was
Bournemouth game.
the Bournemouth game? Yeah.
Yeah, that looks very important now because just the thing is, realistically, because you've played more games, that's what's keeping you ahead of them at the moment.
32nd goal of the year. So he had 50 last year, and he had 51 last year, I think.
Well, the thing is, one thing about it, he's missed a lot of chances this year compared to last. It's scary. The guy like that guy can go score 40 goals and still miss like 40 chances. It's
That's
scary,
insane.
man.
That's insane. But it's not like but it's still not like it's we won't have like the Ronaldo Messi levels because those guys were like we're scoring a hat trick every single game. Like that was their like standard. Like I'm scoring.
Well, the thing is about Ronaldo, that standard and the standard you talked about for Messi were both standards they developed
Oh
after
yeah,
a little
because they
while.
just kept competing each other. They just
And again, I'm not being funny. One thing about it is, and this is no coincidence, they changed the rules to help accommodate Messi and Ronaldo. For example, like you couldn't tackle from behind anymore. You know what I mean? Modern football rules are set very much up to set up for the attackers, not the defense. Evening panel and the chat room, they seek him there, everywhere. That pesky Deji is nowhere.
yeah.
No, isn't it? I see him there. Those policemen see him everywhere. That damn elusive Deji, because it's supposed to be the Scarlet Pimpernel, isn't it? That phrase. I can't remember if it's Scarlet Pimpernel. But yeah, I'd love to speak to Deji as well because we got them on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And by the way, how does it feel that we put 4 past them and you guys could only put 3? Then again.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Was it at home? It was at home too, right?
Yeah, we destroyed them 4-1 when we went there. It wasn't as close as that. Put it that way.
It's weird, like because like some of their worst losses have been at home. I think they lost to Brentford. They lost to
Too open, like you said earlier. They're just too open, bro. Some teams sit there and counter them properly. Some don't.
I think Forest had a chance if, but in the end, like their width really killed them when they Forest.
Well, Forest.
When Forest played Tottenham, they were pretty. It was pretty much cut back.
The thing is with the thing is with the relegations threatened teams, they could all give teams a game. It's just sometimes whether the luck goes against them or they get things right or they get things wrong. Sometimes it's just a bit of luck. And I'm not being funny. The officiating has fucked everybody at one point or another. And let's remember that they have had points deducted as well. Forest. So
Yeah, 4 points.
I'll be right back. I'm being called. 1 second.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, Forest Cross gets to Wood, but couldn't handle it. City back out. Oh my. Jack. There's more energy in the game now. Grealish was trying to run it at Forest, but gets stuffed. Hey, big up to the assembled. Big up to DJ Crane. Big up to Rosie. Everybody in the chat. Yeah, it's 75 minutes. It's 2-0, but yep. This is the issue I had last year. The same exact thing. Rooting for like City, rooting for like against City. It's really difficult. So that's the same thing that happened last year. Like the FA Cup last year. Like I think United went 1-0 up, and then it's like sorry. City scored like immediately, and then they absolutely killed the FA Cup final last year. I don't know. Can City drop points? It's so difficult. It's just so difficult, man. There's just too many players that City have. It's like on their day they just show up. It's like last year Gundogan went on like a spree, can't do anything. Man, this is the part of the title race that really sucks, man. When you're like, this is the part of the title race that sucks. Is like you have to root for other teams to like fail, right?
Yeah, do you a favor.
It do you a favor. It's like it's a sucky feeling, like watching.
Well, it depends, isn't it? Because if it all works out for the better and you guys end up winning,
Yeah,
it's
but
worth
then
it,
it's
isn't it?
like especially when you know the team may not be able to do it. It's like expecting them to, that feeling.
Yeah, it's that sinking feeling of being reliant on other people.
Yeah.
I hear ya. We've all done it at some point, so Arsenal are not alone in that. You never know, man. You
Because
never
I've
know.
seen City. It's weird because like the last team, like City had City when they were chasing down United. That happened to them. Um, you guys were chasing Man United down for a while too, right?
What, when? Last season or the season
Nah,
before?
when you guys won the title on the final day.
What, you mean we're in 2010?
Yeah, was that the one? Yeah, like
We
so.
was Drogba in the Everton, the infamous 5-0 with Drogba's hat trick, and he started crying at the bit. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was hilarious. He was lethal that year,
Oh,
though.
were you like chasing it? You were chasing down? You were chasing them down, right? Like
It
not
was
the, it
it was back and forth.
was back and forth. Yeah.
Uh, Here you go. The Assemble says the behind tackle was brought forward quicker because Van Basten's career was quite short because of it. They wanted to protect the game's skillful players, if memory serves me right. Big up the Assemble for remembering that. City just need to contain what they have. Yep. I hope United win the FA Cup. How dare you say that? Then again, yeah, it's having them on City, isn't it?
Personally, I like whenever whenever them play, like I'm like whatever, like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a bit indifferent like that. I'm a bit like fuck both, really. But but it is what it is.
hey, maybe if they win the FA Cup, it'll keep Ten Hag in the job. Who knows?
Oh, that's a good point.
Like
Agent Hog. Agent Huggy.
I don't get what the hell happened with him, man. Like I think he was bought in just to like be that hard manager, but I think like he just lowered the standards he just lowered like the mentality of
Well,
the
the thing is, it's that Man United cycle. The same players were with Ollie, Jose, Van Gaal, Solskjaer. Sorry, not Solskjaer, and Ten Hag. Sorry. Yeah, I think you got to realize that the players are not the same problem. I think the players are that bounce. The Red Devils. Big up, Leroy. Have a good day, man. Stay safe. Thank you for dropping by. Big up to you using your own, man. Take care. Stay safe. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's a culture problem as well because they've got so many. They kind of need to do what we did: have a mass clear out at once. Just get rid of loads of players. Because there's only.
I don't know if that's the. Yeah, I didn't agree with that method with Arsenal either. Like, I feel like we had pieces, and you just you should have like a good coach comes in and works with what they have. Like, it can't just be a complete. You can't like it's just not feasible to just do a complete clear out. It shouldn't be because then you're just like lowering the fans. Like, their fans still coming to the games. You have to put on a really good show.
I hear you, but it depends because the thing is, one thing about Man United fans, but like, and that's the example was given. They've been moaning about the same thing. Rashford, right? Is he good enough year in, year out? Martial, I don't know what happened to that guy. Anthony, £90 million flop. He only scored his first goal of the season the other day. They've spent big money and they've not really got the results they want. DJ Crane, they'll swallow the soup whole. The cast will be set up top 4 and the odd cup to shut them fan base up. You're talking about
United.
Yeah. No. He's talking about Arsenal because obviously that DJ Crane just said finishing second again is not acceptable. Some Arsenal fans would be hyped the Community Shield again if they do the double. Then obviously the Assembled says obviously DJ Crane they'll swallow the soup whole. The cast will be set up top 4 and the odd cup to shut the fan base up. Well, you haven't succeeded or failed yet. See how it goes.
I mean, that's the issue. It's like what else? I mean, in the past, it used to be like have a go, right? That used to be like the big thing. So we are having a go.
Well, the thing is, if you're not if you're Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, City, blah blah blah, you should be having a go year in, year out. That's what you're there
Yeah,
to
no, I
do.
agree. I agree. But that's for every big club. I feel like you're either
Hmm.
you
Except
have to
Spurs, of
be
course.
you have to be competing for the Champions League or like Premier League,
No,
like
you.
at least every other year. At least every other year. Because you know how like certain times injuries can happen, and you can't do anything about
No, well, it depends, man. Because I'm just right. I'm one of these guys that it's first and not all.
Yeah, but like
I hear what you're saying.
because
Different
I
clubs,
feel like,
different aim.
especially if you don't have the culture, like for example, City have that culture. So I
Well,
mean,
up until a season ago, we did as well. So there you go. But the thing is, it's not the culture. It's just where the club's being refinanced. And
yeah, I feel like
redeveloped.
especially you're going as far as your experienced players. So it's like your three best stars are like all kids that haven't done anything. So
Well, the thing is, that's part of the process, though. Because I'm not being funny, like you said, like a jigsaw puzzle. You take bits, you find more bits, you add more bits to it, etc., etc. That's why I said earlier when you mentioned it, and I was just like, we need 3 or 4 players now that
yeah,
City are. What's that? Now City are perverse Champions League. They will go out to retain.
they're already out of the Champions League.
Yeah, they're out. Yeah, they are. That's what he's saying. But I'm trying to. What's that? PR Pervis?
Oh,
What you?
oh, I think what he's saying is he's gonna go all out. They're gonna go all out to win one title.
Yeah, I
That's
don't,
what I.
yeah. Well, that's all they can do, isn't it? That's all they can do, other than obviously the FA Cup, though. They've got the FA Cup still.
Because I've seen, yeah, that club is used to celebrating one thing every single year.
Or
Like,
at least one thing every single year. Yeah.
so it's like,
Sorry about that. I thought I was going mad. Then I was trying to pronounce the word. Is that and like Ronnie Barker at open all hours?
I mean, you think Pep's last year is next year?
No.
Because I feel like he's still like, he could win for like another like 5 6 years.
Well, yeah, and I'm not being funny. If they invest and buy a couple of more players again, there ain't no reason why he can't.
Yeah.
Because most of that, the only thing I would say is he going to do what Fergie did, and when it comes to a big rebuild, bounce. Because that's the one thing about Fergie he did in his last year that was kind of dirt to Man United, man. Evra, Vidic, Ferdinand, all them were all old and washed up by the time he was about to leave. Truthfully, Wolfie, truthfully, why did they get rid of Wenger? Because what we're watching isn't better than what Wenger's achievements. Yeah.
This is a big debate actually, because if we gave Wenger the resources
that you gave Arteta, would have been any different? Yeah, I know.
But then it's like,
well, in that case, then I want to bring Unai Emery's name into this, because in the first 6 months in charge at Arsenal, he didn't even get money to spend. So
yeah.
Wenger had his 20 years, so at least one way or the other, he had his titles. But I feel sorry for Unai Emery in a way, because he was pretty much told to get on with what he had, and when it came to signing 1 or 2 players, and all the stuff that Arteta gets credit for now, like Saka's, Martinelli's, and all that, you know what I mean? Saliba's, Gabriel, they were all signed by Unai Emery.
No one ever blames the CEO, which was I'm not going to mention his name because he got involved in some.
Well, I'm not being funny here. The CEO of Arsenal, you guys have spent money now.
No, the CEO now, because like the CEO and the Wenger sacking and all that, like that happened because of the previous CEO, which was Don Raul. So, and then he got his like little like dodgy dealings and whatnot.
It is what it is, man. Football politics.
Me personally, I think we actually got one of the best owners in sports, but I mean, it's just it hasn't happened at Arsenal, but every single club that they've gone to, they've won stuff. So, like major stuff. So, I mean,
the thing is, the difference being in England is just because you're a multi-billionaire, that doesn't matter, because everyone else has got multi-billionaires too.
Yeah, but
Newcastle have the richest owners in world football, but they don't spend money. Not yet,
but not with the track record in sports though, because those guys are proven winners in 5 different sports. You don't just get there
Yeah, but just because you're great at basketball doesn't mean you can make the same thing work in football. Just because you're
No,
fantastic at baseball doesn't mean you can make the same thing work in hockey. There's still different principles. Oh,
yeah, I
great
mean,
save!
so at that point, the hiring is the
Did
big
you
one.
see that, by the way?
I saw it. It's a great shot too.
It
It's a
was
great shot.
unlucky.
Great swerve on that call. Great.
Mm. I thought that was in, until I see the hand.
I don't know, man. I feel like the Cronkies will figure it out. Like I just don't. If they sat like with the Arteta thing, it's just we'll
Well,
figure it out.
can I ask you a question? And I want to ask you this honestly, right? If Arteta doesn't win it, do you sack him?
I mean, that's something I have to decide at the end of the year, man.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
It's a difficult one because, like, I think he's. It's a difficult one because, in some ways, I get it. It's like you want to set the standard that you have to win at Arsenal. So making a sacking just to make a sacking. I get some of that sometimes. It's like you could use a different voice, especially if you're gonna be burned out after so many title challenges. It happened before, by the way. The first owner always sets the framework, and the first manager sets the framework, and the second manager usually takes them to the promised land. Happens all the time.
Not really. I hear what you're saying about the process, about the guy before the guy, but that's not. It depends on the first guy you get in, doesn't it?
This is our second one, so I mean,
Well, actually, technically speaking, it's your third because Unai. Okay, because Wenger was the one who was seen as beginning to flop. He'd lost his magic. Unai was seen as that guy then because he's tactically and he'd won this and he'd won that. And then after he got kind of scruffed,
yeah.
it was Arteta, this young and upcoming coach, and even he's had 4 years. So like, it's like 8 years since this process of we're going to become title challengers are going to start. Because when did Wenger leave?
What was it? Was it 2018? Yeah, 2018.
Oh, sorry, 6 then. My bad. Sorry.
No.
We haven't had laugh out loud, and Newcastle have to sell buying during FFP. Yep.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
that's the
Bye-
big.
Yep. Bye bye Arteta, says DJ Crane. If he flops the title this year, I imagine.
But then the other
bye-bye.
thing is, that's the other thing is like a lot of these players are like now used to this. So it's like just add and get better. I mean, he's proven it's he's beaten like the best managers around the Prem.
Who has?
Arteta.
Why?
He's beaten them. Would you say? Like I'm saying, like he's
Well, no, wait. Just because you're beating someone, okay.
I mean, it's a tough. I mean, at the top level.
I'll flip it, right?
Yeah.
Tuchel, who would you say has been the top managers over the last 3-4 years in the Premier League?
In terms of what though?
That's what I was just about to ask you, because you can beat another manager in a match,
Right.
but does that necessarily mean that you have the last laugh in terms of who's a better coach? Probably not, because it's like, okay, you just mentioned Arteta. He's the only one out of the 3 coaches, say Arteta, Tuchel, Pep, Klopp. Arteta is the only one that hasn't won any trophies over the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And I've given you ones that have been in the Premier League, Germany, here. Because even Klopp this year has won the Carabao Cup. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. And as far as I know, the only trophy you guys have legitimately won was still down to Unai Emery's squad when you guys won the FA Cup coming up 4 years ago at the end of when you beat us in the FA Cup final. So it was...
See, that's a good question. It seems like it just depends on whatever the Cronkies do at this point on that.
Well, no, that's why I asked you. What's the because it's not even solutions. Is I like to when I ask people questions, people's
viewpoints
interpretations of questions that depend. So, what makes an elite coach? The fact that he can beat other elite coaches, or the fact that he can get titles, or the fact that he can do the best of what he's got, etc., etc.
I mean, for me, the issue. So I guess for me, it was always like you have to win the Champions League. You have to compete in the Champions League.
Well, in that case, Arteta's never even close then, because the only 2 managers in the English Premier League that have won the Champions League was Klopp and Pep.
that's part like partly the reason I'm like a change could do maybe get more out of it.
Yeah, but okay, but if you're Mikel Arteta, what do you need to change?
Oh, you're it has to be game planning, and you have to add like experienced stars, which we've been doing, which is the crazy part. It's just
Hmm.
I feel like people with egos like and stuff like that, like there'll be stuff like we need more Mavericks in this.
Stepsy says how Pep and Klopp. I'm guessing. Well, you could say with how what he's achieved in Newcastle is quite good. Does that make him one of the best? You know, like you could. Hang on, I'm in call. One second. 1 minute, people.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah, beg your pardon. Sorry about that, people. So we've got 92 minutes on. We have 5 minutes extra. 3 minutes, well, 2 minutes to go now. Kind of what we all expected.
Yeah, it's
Oh
kind of
well.
sad. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, like the best friend club thing. It's like who do you model it as? Like obviously you look at Madrid, you look at like City as like the best run.
No,
Um,
you just look at Madrid because they've got the dominance in the European Cup.
well, yeah,
Realistically, when it comes to all the teams, who's the best on the planet? Who's the model? The model is the most successful, and the most successful is Real Madrid because they win the European Cup every basically every other year now.
yeah, and
For if we talk about dominance in terms of farmers leagues, right, in terms of a one team that wins more than everybody else, then Europe is farmers market for Real Madrid because over the last 12 years they've won it about 8 times.
yeah, and then the other thing is like all the stars that go there, they become better.
Well, they know. Well, they want to play for the club, innit? They want to have the before how Newcastle were average. I believe Howe has taken to them to a new level.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I agree with you, Stepsy, that he has, but it's whether he can hold them at that level, you know.
that's another
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that's like
I
I don't know.
like Eddie. I like Eddie would be a good choice for England for me, Eddie Howe, but that's just my opinion.
I actually think it would be really wonderful for England. Um,
So do I.
like especially
Better than
stuff.
Southgate.
It's like stuff he did during the Champions League was impressive until like the. I mean, it raveled at the end, but like there was a lot of injuries they had dealt with, and they had Tonali situation to deal with. I mean,
Well, that's what hurt them.
Newcastle was a good team. Like,
At the
um,
beginning of the
yeah,
season, their prospects were high until they got suspensions and injuries, unfortunately.
suspensions, injuries. Yeah, I
And the
mean that
great, sorry, go on.
because in the Champions League with Tonali and Bruno, like, yo, that was a
Dude,
steal.
I,
That
I
was a
will say,
steal defense. Like,
I will say this is unfortunately what happened with Newcastle in the Champions League is the epitome of why football is economics now and not game based because it even states in their rules that if a ball comes off another player's part of his body before it hits his hand, it's ball to hand and it's not a
yeah.
penalty. And they deliberately ignored the rule to give PSG a penalty to keep them in the damn thing, so they could
Oh,
keep
yeah,
him.
they
It's
got
the
one.
it was the Mbappe money, man. That's what they wanted. They wanted to keep all the French market and stuff in the league, in the Champions League. So yeah, man.
Oh,
Sorry, Newcastle, you got stuff.
they got the biggest hand of God in like in with those refs. Like,
It was the reverse, wasn't it? It was just the more the hand of God across the face. Really, it was a slap in the face because
they
it
were like
wasn't.
penciling. They, I mean, the easiest draw. Like, I mean, you can't. I mean, they're having a perfect year in that because of that. The football is terrible, but like,
Yeah, but it still is what it is, though, isn't it? It still is what it is.
I honestly like. I mean, they're getting away with a lot of things. So I mean,
There you
they could probably win it just because I think UEFA has like penciled that in. They want them in the final.
go. Fully agree with you, Stepsy. Couldn't agree more, mate.
Oh, they were
Couldn't.
absolutely robbed. I mean, that was on multiple fronts. Like they gave PSG two vital points on one on the final day and once on the final day and uh
Well, you need that France money, man. You can't have all the French viewers disappearing so early in the Champions League. You know they got Mbappe, the mutant Ninja Turtle up front, man. You can't take that away from them. Come on.
another reason football's gone.
Yeah, there you go. But look, it's just ended. City 2, Forest nil. It's Villarreal. There you go. Other scores from Rosie. Villarreal 1-0. Napoli 1, Roma 1. There you go. I might actually see if I can catch that in a minute. But yeah, Bargav, have you got a channel or anything you want to big up, brother?
Nah, I just go on Tony's. Just love talking. Just love chatting football. So anytime, anytime you need me, let me know.
Hey, dude, hey, bro, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on my streams anytime, bro. I'll actually talk to you about an MMA show if you want to do one. That would be quite nice.
yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind. Just let me know like the week before the card or.
Belatedly wrong and brushed under the carpet. Are you referring to the Mbappe thing?
Yeah, it was like they so many times. I mean, the uproar wasn't the same. Like I'll tell you that much. Like,
hey man, look, you know what? Considering like when Liverpool thought they were robbed, they were ready to replay the whole season. But yeah, when Newcastle got robbed in the Champions League, it was just one of those ones like no. But they did what all Geordies did. They just took it on the chin and went home, guys. That
it was really sad. It was really sad because I mean, some of our fans just classlessly were like, "Oh, we got robbed, so you guys deserve to get robbed." I mean, it's a different thing in the Champions League. Like, it's not in a league game you can come back from. Champions League, like,
well, it's one thing because the games are shorter, isn't it? It's a lot more. If you lose 6 points, that's 6 points you can never get back because you can only earn 18. You know what I mean? Thanks for the great stream, guys. No worries. Big up for that. Yes, Blues Brothers. Thank you. Tomorrow night, 11:30. Big up. Thank you for that reminder and shout out there, Rosie. Big up. Oh, look, he's jumped off his tractor from running over the Spurs and he's come into the chat and saying hello. Well done, Anthony, for your win today. All right. Well done. Top stuff. Big up. Catch him on Early Doors' takeaway later on, 8 o'clock tonight. It's only about an hour and a half away. Big up to him and catch Anthony there as well. And big up to the chaps there. I think Fuzzy and Yeti and all them not going to be there, but big up Anthony as well. Early Doors as well. Thank you all the beautiful people. Thank you, Rosie, the assembled, Stepsy, DJ Crane, Leroy, the Fight Week show. Everybody else has flown in and out. It's been an Emmy Barbar as well. My missus, Dale as well. The Oregon Gooner. Big up him. Chelsea Sessions, TT. Good to see you, bro. Like, shame you went along. We were going to watch along yesterday. You know how you feel about predictions. And obviously Leroy of the Fight Week show. And then obviously Olo of the Fight Week show. Big up to you guys both. I hope you guys are well. Thank you as well, Katie, for the shout out to the missus. Much obliged. You beautiful people, stay safe. Bargav, stay safe. Thank you for your company today, sir. It's been a privilege. We've actually had some seriously good football chat in the second watch up.
Yeah.
It's been good, man. And MMA, yeah, it's actually been very good. Like I love good intelligent conversation. Big up, Stepsy. Thank you very much. Big shout out to the missus. Thank you, sir. God bless you for that one. And big up to Luton, man. Now Forest have lost today. You still got a chance, man. You still got a chance. You never know. You never know. But anyways, it's been a good day of streaming. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, and we are out of here. Peace, people.